Media is all around us in today's society, in all forms. Today, we'd like to focus on social media, and more specifically, how social media affects adolescents in their social, physical, and cognitive development. As a now adult who grew up with the rise of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Vine, I understand how it feels to be able to view certain things with only the tap of a fingertip when you're a child. From being able to access videos on eating disorders, as sadly was the case with popular YouTuber Eugenia Cooney, hate speech on websites as commonplace as Facebook, to possibly being exposed to pornography at a very young age with the touch of a button. Social media can cause children and young teens to feel isolated, as they can easily view and also form insecurities based on what society's version of a perfect life is. However, many are also able to find refuge in groups made of people just like them, who share similar stories and experiences online. In this way, social media can be used for good in the realm of identity, and it can help children to form their identity even easier and feel more confident about who they are earlier on in life.
Growing up with social media has many benefits. It can also be very helpful in finding people who understand you, have the same interests as you, and want to help you succeed in life. However, social media can also be very harmful, specifically to young adults and teenagers as they decide who they want to be in the world. When scrolling through social media, it's very easy to compare yourself to others. You focus on the things they have, the way they look, and the people they surround themselves with. You compare this to your life without knowing anything else about them. I'm sure everyone has an experience where you saw someone's post on Instagram, Snapchat, or Twitter and wished you had the life you saw online. I know I've caught myself doing this several times. However, the life you see on social media isn't real. It's a highlight reel of somebody's life. You don't see the struggles that they face every day. Social media can also make you feel like you aren't good enough and that you have to act and look a certain way. Social media can often make you feel, in order to be feminine, you have to look a certain way and dress a certain way. Dressing in colors that are seen as girly and doing your hair and makeup a certain way. The same goes for social media's idea of masculinity. In order to be seen as masculine, social media tells you that you have to look a certain way and be interested in certain things, such as sports. This can make people question who they are if they don't fit into the stereotypical mold that social media creates. Growing up in this environment makes it difficult for teenagers to feel comfortable being who they truly are, out of fear of being judged by others and being bullied for expressing themselves differently online than others do. Social media has created a new world for children to grow up in. While it has its downsides, it makes it easier for young people to express who they are and find people who can help them navigate the life that they want.
So just to add on to that, often online there are a lot of groups that teens can join just to kind of help them figure out themselves a little bit better. These can be through Instagram, Twitter, various social media apps. Facebook, I know, does a lot of groups, but there are a lot of groups that adolescents and teens can sort of build a support system for themselves, just to help them figure out any questions they may have about gender, or if they're struggling just figuring out their own identity. These groups kind of provide like a safe space online, whereas they might not be able to find those as easier in real life. Just because being online through social media provides a lot of connections to different people, and social media does tend to personalize what you're looking at. So it does actually help teens struggling with this or just trying to figure out their identity kind of locate these groups to help themselves find a space for that. And one of the articles, I believe, actually also goes over one person's experience with just finding their group online and how that helped them figure out their identity and just finding a safe space for themselves so that they could figure out what their identity was through gender and social media. So both are correlated because there are safe spaces for teens and adolescents to find online that can help them. And I've noticed in my experience online as well that it's pretty easy to find things that if you're really looking for them, because social media does tend to take you to what you're looking for and it keeps you in that same content. So I do believe that like social media can help adolescents and teens really figure out who they truly are and then what their identity is to themselves. And just by talking to people, of course, safely online, through these groups is actually providing a good space for them, whereas being offline may not be as good for them. So I know while there are dangers to social media, it does seem to provide a good place for teens, adolescents, anyone to connect with those who are similar to them and are interested in the same topics, whether it be gender identity or anything else.
Good morning, my name is Ayomide, and today I'm going to be speaking on social media and its effect on young adults. So social media has been a very important aspect of most of our lives since MySpace days. After MySpace came out, then there was Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Kick. People started using social media like it was, water. And today we're going to find out if it affects gender identity in young adults, because I personally feel like some of the things that I witnessed on social media have definitely shaped my personality and who I am, and I wonder if other people feel that way. I recently read an article on a man named Paulo. He grew up in Brazil, and this was in the 90s, he was gay, and he was comfortable enough to tell his mother and his sister, but as he grew up, he decided he wanted to do drag performances. His sister advised him not to do this because his mother isn't going to like it. So he decided to do it anyways. And as he started doing it, he grew popular, and he decided to make a Facebook. And seeing as his family life and his drag life were colliding, he decided to make a Facebook specifically for his drag queen personality. And he was able to express himself the way that he wanted to. So many people feel like they could just come and express themselves using social media, and Paulo felt the same way. So he created a Facebook account named Paulina, and everybody followed him on that account, and he felt like he was able to share that part of himself with the people he loved the most. But he does regret that he cannot be completely honest with his mother. But social media gives him a bit of a taste. And statistics say that most members of the LGBT community use social media to create a new non-heterosexual space where identity isn't determined by an individual's past on the internet. And I feel like that also really helps, especially with people transitioning from genders. They might not feel comfortable going out in a dress in public, but they feel comfortable wearing a dress and posting it online, where other people who support them and like them can, give them compliments, support them, be a shoulder for them. And that just shows the importance of social media and how it's been such a positive influence on gender identity.